I've wrestled for this riddle for ages, fingers twitching through the wreckage of my rituals. This conquest, traumatic, relentless, has stripped me of something silent, a reason misplaced in the noise.
What does it mean to be the soul crushing? Eternal Towers of Hell, or ETO, is one of those games that are meant to challenge you. One mistake will send you tumbling down. I've never really been interested in ETO, until recently, where something about the newer areas, more specifically Zone 9 and Zone 10, has really captured my attention and really let something into me to play this game. And I got good quickly, going from a low challenging level to a low remorse level over the span of a month of active playing. What are the difficulties, you may ask? Or what am I even talking about, matter of fact? Well, ETO has an infamous difficulty chart system that's used to scale all the towers in the game. There are the non-soul crushing difficulties, which is easy, medium, difficult, challenging, intense, and remorseless. And the soul crushing difficulties, insane, extreme, terrifying, and catastrophic. You may ask, how much harder is the easiest soul crushing to, let's say, something like Tower of Hell or Slap Tower? Tower of Hell is hard difficulty, which is 5 difficulties lower than Tower of Double Trouble, the easiest soul crushing. Well, if we convert this difficulty to a tiered system, another chart, which has a much more set in stone, although abstract scale, we can see that Tower of Double Trouble is 6 tiers above Tower of Hell, meaning Tower of Double Trouble is around 64 times harder than Tower of Hell. But let's round it out to 50 times, because we're so kind. So basically, in conclusion, soul crushing towers are close to impossible.
You're gonna do the thanos tower.
What?
Yep. You heard me. You're doing the thanos tower.
I don't want to. I just don't want to. The conquest begins with my trembling hands and half a heart, chasing shadows that promised shape. But the thrill, if it ever lived, died quietly in the corner of my mind. I fumbled through my mind, hoping for meaning in the motion. However, I find a hollow echo. What is this guy actually talking about? Like, you're not shit, bro! My grind doesn't start on ETO, but on the practice place. We're trying to build comfort with Thanos Tower, because let's be honest, if you've played Thanos Tower or even completed it, it doesn't have the best gameplay, especially highlighted in the 4th or 5th floor. Like, what are we doing? Through all jumping the tower quickly, I determined most of the difficulty to be held in the later floors, especially in 8 and 9. This can be attributed to the amount of tense wraparounds and GBJ sections that are held within the tower itself. There's a count in the bottom left which will display what session I'm on and how many hours I've poured into the tower. Also, I didn't record any of the practice footage, so I don't know how to say this, but all the practice footage will be completely interpreted and will not be completely visual on what happened during the sessions. Why did I say? I don't know how to say this. I just fucking said it. My initial thought process is that I would chill now and suffer later. This showed in my first few sessions, where I would practice the loop available tower crossings on floor 3 and floor 7, which are actually pretty difficult, I can't lie. After busting out some practice, I decided to hop into a real run, with the goal of reaching floor 7, specifically the tower crossings, which is Tower of Rage and Tower of Scream Punching. The first few floors are seen as light work, with none of them considered to be worth practicing. So I'll be fine. Floor 1 includes a simple puzzle. Press 3 buttons to advance up a truss. Something that I'd like to mention is that there are thin studs all over the floor, which makes it very annoying to play whenever you fall from floor 6 or 7. The floor is laced with kill bricks, which are not deadly, but has infuriated me multiple times, considering how it takes my sweet 100 HP down to 90. Anyways, floor 2 starts off with one of the only 2 outsides in the tower, which consists of these annoying ass client objects. But we need to go out because 1 progress, and as long as we don't panic, it's pretty smooth. Here we find the first of many wall hops in the tower. Most of them have little to zero punishment, but some can be annoying. The floor 7 wall hop. Floor 3 is known for the tower crossing and the only lodge of the tower. Thank you! But the main focus here is the tower crossing present, which includes a buff version of the floor 7 tots
Tower of True Skill, and floor 15 outside Coles, Citadel of Laptop Splitting. Both I have completed. Also, it says it crosses floor 13 outside Coles on the wiki, but that's wrong. Like, are we serious? Moving on to floor 4, and it's all spinners. In my opinion, client objects are pretty cool, but spinners are just not it. Like, look at this wall hop spinner. It gave me so many stupid fails, like the one shown on screen. And it's also just a bland floor. Moving on. Floor 5 is the worst floor because it's easy to fail and it's more empty than Tower of Fatness. Which, have you seen Tower of Fatness? Also, no one enjoys wedge gameplay. Seriously, which developer thought this was a good idea? This floor gave me the most frustration because of the stupid wall hop at the end, which is weirdly difficult for me. Unfortunately, floor 6 isn't much better because the first half is just tie ropes. Not bad, but it's boring. Also, the last outside section is here, which is completely free. But I would like to mention these trusses, which on bad runs would absolutely decimate my morale in a matter of seconds. Because I just suck at truss flicking. Anyways, do this wall hop and you're onto floor 7. I'll cover floor 7 later, but something to note is that the first 6 floors lack difficulty, but are extremely tiring to play. In fact, most of my actual runs would not surpass the 6th floor because of how draining it was. This was evident during my first real try of the tower, where it took me 40 minutes to get to the floor 3 tower crossing. This was mainly due to the trusses at the start of floor 3, which highly resemble the one on floor 6. And if I counted correctly, I failed in that section 11 times during that run. But at least I got to the floor 3 tower crossing, right? After I got to the floor 3 tower crossing, I had an insane fluke. Floor 4, bang! First try. Floor 5, bang! First try. Floor 6, bang! I did it first try. And I was on to floor 7. Floor 7 is mainly consisting of 2 tower crossings. The first one being Toei, Tower of Impossible Expectations, where it's a buff version of the infamous floor 8 outside, a choke point that many have fallen on, if it was given steroids. Moving on are the 2 last floors of TOTS, floor 9 and 10 of Tower of True Skill, completely unchanged aside from patching skips. They really did know how much a difficulty spike the section was. Thanks, Feardork. Next tower crossing up is Tower of Rage, where we do a buffed floor 7 and 8. Then buffed floor 8 of Tower of Screen Punching. This part is really easy, and I've never failed here. Oh. Also, I would cover sessions 4, but literally nothing happened in it. So, moving on.
Yeah, I don't.
Fuck!
Peter, what are you doing? Crack? What the fuck?
I spent a bit of time grinding on the practice place. I felt like I wasn't making enough progress on the early floors, and that was causing me to gas on the later floors, which were more significant in its raw gameplay rather than the wacky gameplay like floor 4 and 5. This worked wonders, as on the next run, I broke the floor 7 wall, making it to floor 8. I made it around halfway through before falling on the jump of doom and despair. I think this is the chance to beat Thanos. If I just practice floor 9 and floor 10 a bit more, I can definitely win. I will win. Anyways, I have a fat problem. Session 8 and 9 were spent practicing the last 3 floors, especially 8. I think it's about time I talk about floor 8. Entering floor 8, your frames will automatically tank. The cause? These kill brick spinners in the middle of the floor, which can cause you getting very distracted. Fortunately, this is for one half of the floor. The second half is primarily made up of kill bricks, and this kill brick spinner, which can be a massive choke point for many. And then we have the first GBJ section, but it's kinda that was run 12, so we don't talk about it for now. This floor is honestly hell. I've failed this floor like 11 times from the course of run 10 to 12. In fact, I've barely even made it to the 9th floor. This is where the problem rears its ugly self in. I was tired I was spending way too much time practicing and it wouldn't translate over nicely into real runs. It led me to spiral a little, like, why am I getting better so slowly? Am I even worth escaping REM skill theory? Bro, Thanos Tower is being the ever-living daylight under me. I can't get to floor 9 even though I practice floor 8 so much. I just can't get to it. Like, I'm so bad at the game. Are you hearing yourself? What? You don't need to get past floor 8. It's fine to do bad. Are you serious? I need the progress. Just the game, bro. I crave that. It cannot be that deep. If you're not having fun, leave and come back when you're ready. It'll be better for your health and your motivation.
Hey guys, wanna play Energy Assault?
Who the fuck is that?
I think I've lost the plot. Anyways, I've come back and I'm ready to I'm playing Energy Assault. There are only 2 floors left for me to cover, and one not as difficult as floor 8. Floor 9, like floor 8, is split into 2 sections. The first is general purist gameplay, and the second hosting kill brick spam and 2 GBJ sections. Also, at the start of the floor, you are given 10 minutes to complete it, but it's pretty lenient. Something to note is that when you fall from floor 10, you are likely to fall into the partial safety net held on floor 9. But you have a likelihood of falling into the second GBJ section as well, which is a massive section by the middle of the floor. The reason why people think this is the hardest floor is due to the last GBJ section, which is a tightrope with a tighter roof with a timer, which can cause some stupid failures due to nerve control. This run is going to floor 10. We are gonna beat Thanos Tower. Floor 10 is split up into 2 sections, the memory section and the trust section. The memory section is really easy after practicing due to the primary difficulty coming from nerve control. But the trust section, however, you will struggle here if you aren't well acquainted with them, especially because the whole section is over the second floor GBJ. If you fail here, you will lose. And to end it off, the second last jump is considered the hardest in the whole tower, a 7 stud long, 1 stud stick out, which can destroy your whole run depending on how you fall, and to finish it off, a 10 stud wrap around. Good luck. Oh fuck! If you fail here, you will lose. Oh my god! Yes! Yes! So what does it even mean to be a soul crushing? If I could choose one word to describe what I've learned on my grind, it'd probably be perseverance. I don't know what else to say, so I'll leave off with the video. But letting y'all know, I clickbaited y'all.
Your skill level in eternal.
Just kidding. In my opinion, beating a soul crushing is the point of where you either quit the game forever or you go on an insane streak. I mean, the amount of precision and speed you have to input would have been seen as humanly impossible 7 years ago.
Bro, play the full clip.
My bad. From me. I got you.
Your skill level in eternal towers of hell on Roblox determines your testosterone. Because being good or bad at eternal towers of hell is entirely dependent on your hand-to-eye coordination. And testosterone is entirely responsible for your hand-to-eye coordination. Therefore, a lack of testosterone is going to result in poor hand-to-eye coordination, and therefore the inability to complete soul-crushing towers, intense towers, and maybe even easy and medium towers. However, lots of testosterone is going to result in very good hand-to-eye coordination, therefore meaning you can easily beat soul-crushing towers.